What's up, y'all? What is going on? It is Wednesday, hump day. Surprised I know what day of the week it is, right? But yeah, it is Wednesday and I'm excited. I know what day of the week it is because my baby is coming home tomorrow, my daughter. And so I've been counting down the days until she comes home. So she'll be on her way back tomorrow. So what's been going on with y'all? Anything in particular? Leave it in the comments. Y'all like shit. Why would I tell you what's been going on with me in your comments? I don't know. Just making conversation. Cause so it's just been over the past couple of days, I have just been kind of sort of disengaged as far as producing any content for my channel. Y'all know I usually review Power every Sunday. I just ain't have it in me to do because I took my braids out on Sunday, right? And I was okay. I was good. And then when as I was taking my braids out, I felt a headache coming on, right? So I was like, oh shit. So I called myself taking some Tylenol, okay? And I don't know, that Tylenol was just like, girl, what is you doing? Because after a few hours, not even a few hours, I want to say maybe after about an hour and a half, my head was like, ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong, and I couldn't do it. I was out for the rest of the day. I was just out. And then I woke up one day morning. I woke up Monday morning with the same fucking headache. So it just was like, I ain't got it to do. But it was a real good episode though. And I think I might still do the review. I don't know. So anyway. Oh, and let me tell y'all too what happened Sunday night into Monday morning. It actually happened Monday morning at approximately 1:30 a.m. So I finally shook the headache enough to get to sleep, right? And so I'm asleep and I hear this voice in the hallway, okay? And at first I didn't think anything of it, but the voice sounded kind of familiar. And so I got up, I sat up in the bed and I listened for a second. And as I'm listening, the voice in the hallway was calling animal control, reporting that there was a fucking snake in the building, okay? Okay, so I got closer to the door and I continued to listen, and I could tell that the voice was coming from a level below me. So I opened my door, and because in my mind I'm thinking, you know, if the snake was on my floor, the voice would have been closer, or maybe not. Anyway, so I know what it was. The voice, I heard the voice say that the snake was downstairs, okay? So I knew that it wasn't on our floor. And I say our floor because it turns out that the voice was my neighbor's voice. So he was standing on the stairs, okay? midway between the landing of our floor and the landing of the next floor, okay? And so I asked him, I said, did you say it was a snake in here? And he was like, yeah, right there. He pointed downstairs, and this motherfucker, it was a black snake, probably about 3.5 feet long, stretched out in front of the apartment below me, and stretched out in front of the door, my neighbor's door below me. So my neighbor said, my neighbor, the guy who was on the phone, who was tried to call animal control, said animal control told him they not coming out because it's not an emergency, because it didn't qualify as an emergency for immediate response because the snake was not inside of anyone's domicile. What kind of shit is that? So I tried calling, right? Thinking that, if he and I both kept calling, they would eventually just get tired of us and send somebody out. So we tag team and calling, back to back, calling. And this motherfucker on the phone had this funky ass attitude. Just real funky, right? Acting like he ain't want to be at work and shit. And so I'm like, look, ain't this your fucking job? You know what I'm saying? If you had a fucking attitude, why you ain't call out? Because that's what you there for. You're there to respond to the public when they call, okay? And be courteous about it. And he just really had a funky ass attitude, and it wasn't like we was calling saying it was a feral cat in the building or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a snake in the building, and it could have been poisonous. Like, we don't know. That's what the animal control is for, but to no avail, because that motherfucker kept giving us the same attitude back and forth and going to talk about something. I'm sorry. Nigga, you ain't sorry. You is not sorry. Talking about I'm sorry. And then the thing was, he kept trying to bullshit me and say, okay, I can call it in, but they might not come out. So that in my mind was like, okay, well then it's a possibility that they might come out. Like, if they might not, that means they might actually, like, he didn't flat out say from the jump, he didn't flat out say no one's gonna come out. He kept trying to you know what I'm saying, sidestep the shit and act fake courteous, talking about they might, I can call it in, but they might not come out. So and he was trying to make it seem like, he was going above and beyond, doing what he was supposed to do, but putting it off on somebody else, whoever the they, and so I kept I called 911, like straight emergency, but of course they kept transferring me to animal control, and I tried explaining to them, the guy's giving us attitude and he's saying no one's gonna come out, but they still were like, they have their own police. It's nothing that emergency 911 can do. So okay, so that turned in, so I called maintenance, our emergency, and they were, giving us the same runaround, talking about, you gotta call animal control, we don't do that. And I was thinking to myself, why do people always want to pass the buck? Like, no one, it just seems like Like, there is no community nowadays. Like, there's no sense of togetherness. There's no, everyone is just splintered off and, you know, concerned about what's immediately in front of them. And like, I get it, you know, we live in an individualistic society, but I'm like, damn, you know, people don't just look out for people. No, I mean, sometimes you might, you know, not to say that it's just like that all the way around and there are no good, decent people, you know, in communities anymore, but for the most part, people just like, if it ain't affecting me, then fuck it. And so, and I was thinking, and I told the animal control guy, I was like, you know, it's babies and kids in this building, right? Like, I mean, people coming in and out of this building all the time. Like, somebody unsuspecting coming in from the outside, you never know, could be work nights. They coming in, they done worked all night, and they come into the building and encounter a fucking big black snake. You know. But anyway, so what ended up happening was maintenance actually did end up coming because we kept calling. So maintenance did actually come out, and he ended up getting the snake and removing the snake from the building. So I was glad about that, because he, you know, he was resistant at first, but he finally did help. So he, in that instance, really did go above and beyond the call of duty as an on-call maintenance guy. So that was cool, because I know, remember now, this was all happening like around 1:30 a.m. and the animal control folks were like, because it's not an emergency, they'll come out at 7 a.m. So I'm just supposed to go back in here and just snuggle up in my bed and go back to sleep knowing it's a snake roaming around the building. What kind of shit is that? Child, please. So so it was over, it was done with, and you know, I've been nicked the fuck up ever since though. Like, I've been keeping the lid of my toilet closed. I plug up my drain in the bathroom, like, and I'm constantly looking around my apartment. Like, before I go in the bathroom, I'm checking behind the toilet. It's just, this shit is just weird. That was so bizarre. That was so bizarre. So anyway, I just ain't have it to do. I did watch Iyanla, and it was just a family, you know, full of secrets. And you know what? Shout out to Dutch Talk TV if you're watching. I was on his live the other night, and you know, we was just chopping it up about some very prevalent issues, you know, in our community. And he's dope, for real, for the shit that he talks about and the shit that he's willing to confront and address on his channel. But you know, I was just saying, I had made a comment in the live saying how we will, because we're talking about secrets, right? And how things, you know, how these behaviors get concealed, and how things, you know, get perpetuated in our communities and in our families. And specifically talking about secrets constantly marring, you know, our families, we will sit up and talk about everybody else's business on the block, you know, but we won't discuss what's going on under our own roof. Like, you know, our business is our business. And I totally get that. I totally get that. I'm not saying we should be out here talking about all our shit, you know, to everybody on the block, because everybody is not your friend and everybody is not going to have your best interest. But you know, I just kind of feel like it's lopsided, you know, how it's easy for some of us to just so willingly discuss everybody else's business and gossip, but we're not willing to confront our own bullshit, you know. And even if it's not confiding in somebody else, confiding in your neighbor or whatever, if you trust them, it's like being willing to confront that shit within your own family, like under your own roof. You know what I'm saying? Okay, our business is our business. And yours, you know, in the case of Iyanla, the episode that was just on, the sister, the middle sister, as emotions were running high during an argument, she revealed that the brother was having sex with the baby sister, okay, and the mother heard it. And Iyanla asked her, well, you know, did you talk to him? And she was like, no, I just didn't know what to do. So in that instance, in my mind, I'm thinking that was the perfect opportunity. That was the time to talk about the shit. Like, don't act like the girl never said nothing. And you know, the mother was intentionally working more hours and just deliberately trying to distance herself from all of that. And the baby sister who it was happening to told the middle sister, because the middle sister was like the brother's best friend. So, you know, she was reaching out for help, and it just, nothing happened because no one chose to confront it and discuss it. So you know, we need to just stop bullshitting with ourselves. That's it. That's all. Because, you know, it's no secret that we keep secrets. Okay? Like, that's just something that we do. I mean, that's not to say, you know, other cultures don't keep family secrets, but I'm just saying, y'all know how I feel about, I really like Iyanla, the show. I like watching the show. I just, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about actually reviewing it every time that it comes on. I don't know. So, and then they had that whole that exercise where all the folks were disguised and ran into the room making all that noise and stuff and startled the family and all of that. And the point of that was to prove that, you know, y'all are 4 different individuals, all in the same room, all on the same side of the table, have pretty much the same view of what just happened, like physically, but each of your experiences were different in that one person saw one thing, another person saw another thing, another, and so on. So Iyanla's very demonstrative, and that's why I said she's able to she has an ability to really put things into perspective. And I think she used the analogy of the elephant. How do you eat an elephant? And it was one bite at a time or something like that. So yeah, so that was just real quick about Iyanla. I did watch Greenleaf last night, and Greenleaf never fails to deliver. But y'all know Isaiah is Spider on Insecure. And it took me a minute because I kept looking at Spider on Insecure, and I was like, that boy, who is that child? And that's Isaiah from Greenleaf. He's a cute little guy. So yeah, y'all, it's shit going on in these streets. What's happening? I saw a story on the news about like artificial turf. A lot of playgrounds in the district, like the splash parks and stuff, have the artificial surfaces on the playgrounds. A far cry from what we had back in the day growing up. We had asphalt, fucking concrete, and we had some patches of grass. Fuck. I remember the playgrounds having sparse grass, sparse dry ass grass with huge patches of dry ass dirt, you know what I mean, and fucking concrete. That's what I remember. And fucking merry-go-rounds and them damn aluminum slides. I guess they was aluminum, where on a hot ass day, you knew you better not get your ass up there, because it was gonna fry your legs coming down if you had on shorts. So anyway, but it's this story on the news about the artificial surfaces getting extremely hot to the point where they're burning the kids, right? And it was a baby, I think the baby's foot got 2nd-degree burns on the bottom of the baby's foot, because the baby was at a splash park on a hot day, and the baby walked onto an area at the splash park and it burnt the baby's foot. So I'm just saying, this type of shit did not start happening, like these stories making the news and shit did not start happening until the city started to gentrify. I mean, shit like this, motherfucking bike lanes. There was not too long ago something on what is it, an area, I think in like, I want to say an area in Ward 3 or 5 or something like that, where the folks in that area were complaining about the abandoned properties in that area being a quote-unquote eyesore. Like, what? Okay, so because these people are rich and have money, they can complain about an eyesore in their neighborhood when it's fucking boarded up and abandoned buildings all throughout damn Baltimore, all throughout the city, all throughout the district. It's shit everywhere. But because these people live in this so-called exclusive neighborhood, they get a news story talking about how this is an eyesore. That shit is enough to make you mad, for real, because it's just but you know, ain't shit changed. Ain't shit changed. The fact that we, you know, even had to fight for civil rights, you know what I'm saying? And that shit didn't get passed until 1964. That shit wasn't that long ago. Okay? So it just doesn't surprise me. None of this shit going on surprises me at all. So, you know. So anyway, y'all, it's been almost 30 minutes, okay? And so I'm nearly here to the station. Stassi. Is that girl name on Love and Hip Hop, Stassi? That girl looks so damn blank in the face and in the eyes. She don't even look present. I don't know, but Marcus ain't present neither. Marcus is blank too. So I guess, you know, that's why they was so all up on each other. And Brooke's ass is crazy as hell. Y'all see A1 mother wig, the faux lock wig with the flower. Whew. So anyway, I'm about to get off of here, okay? And so I will catch y'all. You know what? Something I need to make sure I'm doing is every time, I always forget to do this, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. Come on in the room, okay? Come on in the room so you can sit down. We can laugh, we can talk, we can chop it up, we can kick it about whatever, right? And leave your comments down below, okay? So until next time, I'll see y'all in the next video.